is no destination announced, only a soft hum. Underneath the silence, the window shows nothing, and still I keep looking. The landscape outside doesn't move, but something shifts in the rhythm of the distant stars do not appear, yet I wait for them as if they owe me an answer. The seat beneath me remembers no weight, and neither do I. Everything I am rests in this motion, not forward, not away, but inside the pause between here and where I never meant to go. I watch the world passing by, even if there is nothing to see. I exist in that still movement where silence feels like a conversation. The rails don't sing, they murmur, like memory washed too many times. I do not ask questions here, there are only silhouettes of answers folded into the shape of space. I could stay in this forever, not knowing, not choosing, just breathing, the cold of not needing to decide. I watch the world passing by, even if there is nothing to see. I exist in that still movement where silence feels like a conversation. My reflection doesn't return my gaze, it I saw someone today who had your mouth but not your name. It didn't stop me, nothing does lately. You had a green umbrella that always collapsed in the wind. We used it anyway. You wore gray sweaters and carried coffee that smelled sweeter than you admitted. We didn't talk about the future, we paid rent. We watched movies we never finished. You hated subtitles, I always forgot to lock the door. It wasn't a tragedy, just too much rain, too few towels, a silence we never folded right. I remember, but not to hurt. I remember, because the space you left hasn't filled with anything else. You once asked if I thought people really change. I said yes, I lied. Our last conversation was about what to order. We didn't finish that either. I didn't fight, you didn't stay. No one was wrong, it just dissolved like sugar in coffee you never drank. I remember, but not to hurt. I remember, because the space you left hasn't filled with anything else. I passed the place we used to meet. It's a bakery now, or maybe it always was. Memories don't resist repurposing. They let the world paint over them. I don't miss you, I miss the version of me that tried harder to feel permanent. I remember, but not to hurt. I remember, because the space you left hasn't filled with anything else. This isn't grief, it's just the shape you left behind. I stayed in bed until the sun gave up. The sheets were warm enough to pretend I didn't open the curtains, there wasn't a reason to. I didn't brush my teeth, I didn't reply to the message you sent 4 days ago. I scrolled through nothing, not even a face. Stayed in my mind, I drank water, it was warm. I laid back down, there was sound outside a car. Maybe, or maybe just the idea of one. I told myself I would get up soon, then told myself again and again, until the word soon lost its shape. This is not sadness, this is not rest, this is the middle of everything I don't want to do. The TV was on, no channel, just air passing through it. I listened to it, not the sound, just the presence. A reminder that things keep moving, even when I don't. I thought about showering, then thought about how not sadness, this is not rest, this is the middle of everything I don't want to do. I didn't say anything aloud, but the silence answered anyway. I told myself I would get up soon, then told myself again and again, until the word soon lost its shape. This is not sadness, this is not rest, this is the middle of everything I don't want to do. This is not sadness, this is not rest, this is the middle of everything I don't want to do. The kind of afternoon that never remembers itself. I left the apartment because I couldn't think of a reason not to. Times Square was full, but no one saw me. Faces moved like code, no eye contact, just motion. I walked slowly, pretending I had somewhere to go. The crowd allowed it, they always do. Someone laughed behind me, not at me, just louder than I needed. I went outside, but I didn't want to be found. I walked through without being noticed, and that felt like control. There was a girl taking photos of a street performer. I looked at her lens, but she didn't lift it. Someone dropped a coffee cup, it rolled towards me. I let it pass, it stopped on its own. No one asked who I was, no one needed to. I could have been anyone. I went outside, but I didn't want to be found. I walked through without being noticed, and that felt like control. By the time I got home, I wasn't sure I had gone anywhere at all. By the time I got home, I wasn't sure I had gone anywhere at all. The street was empty, but not quiet sounds. Blurred light reflections reflections, soft and directionless. I kept walking until walking felt like floating. The city didn't say goodbye, neither did I. A store window flickered, then forgot me. I stepped through a puddle that didn't reflect anything, not even me. It felt like I had been here before, not just this street, but this weightlessness, this in between. I came home, but not all of me. Followed something, stayed outside the door, listening for a voice I didn't use. The room was dark without being black. Objects were familiar but softer, like they had been rewritten while I was gone. I didn't turn anything on, I just existed beside it all. The ceiling moved, or maybe it breathed. I couldn't remember how dreams usually start. I came home, but not all of me. Followed something, waited in the space between falling asleep and letting go. The bed accepted me without a word. The air pressed gently against my skin, like a thought were most remembered. The silence felt alive, but not in a way that needed me. I closed my eyes and didn't sleep. I opened them and wasn't sure I had moved at all. Outside, the world didn't ask where I'd been, and I didn't answer even in my head. It's 4:17, I haven't moved in over an hour. The sky is still dark but softer than it was. Music plays, not loud, not meaningful, just there. I don't know if I slept, I don't know if I woke up. This feels like a place between my phone is next to me. Face down, silent, it feels like another person. There's no plan, there hasn't been, not for days. Just this soft, repeating stillness. I'm here, that's all I can say. No forward, no reason, just here. My body aches in places I forgot to stretch. The blanket is heavy, but I don't mind. A neighbor's door creaked, I didn't look. The music looped, I didn't skip it. This isn't rest, it's not resistance either. Just delay. I'm here, that's all I can say. No forward, no reason, just here. The air smells like dust and laundry. Nothing urgent, nothing wrong. I try to name the feeling, but it doesn't want to be named. Maybe I'll get up, maybe I won't, but morning isn't asking for anything yet. I'm here, that's all I can say. No forward, no reason, just here. The ceiling looks exactly like it did yesterday, but maybe it's a little more forgiving today. Nothing begins, but nothing ends. Either I press repeat without touching anything. I'm here, that's all I can say. No forward, no reason, just here. Outside, the color is starting to change. Inside, everything stays the same shape, and maybe that's okay. Okay, okay, okay. Rain had been falling since before I woke up. I didn't plan anything, I followed the sound until I found the notebook at the bottom of the drawer. The cover was soft, not worn, handled many times. There were pages I didn't remember writing, but the handwriting was definitely mine. I didn't know if I missed what was written, or the version of me who needed to write it. The ink didn't fade, but I did. Time passed, but stayed pressed between two thin sheets of maybe. I read one line 3 times, then stared at the space around it. It said, I think I love someone, but didn't say who. I hoped it was him, then hoped it wasn't. Rain kept tapping the window like it was trying to finish my sentence, but I never started one. The ink didn't fade, but I did. Some things hold on even when you let go without meaning to. I put the notebook back in the drawer. I didn't close it all the way. I wanted it to breathe. Maybe it still needs to be read, not by me. The rain won't remember today, but the paper might, and maybe so will I later. The ink didn't fade, but I did. Memories don't always leave, sometimes they learn how to stay quiet. The drawer closed, not sharply, only enough to keep things inside. The drawer closed, not sharply, only enough to keep things inside. The mug was back where it always ends, up on the counter, handle facing right. The chair pointed toward the window slightly, like someone had thought about the angle. The groceries don't change, bread, milk, cheap cereal, whatever sits near the edge of the shelf. It's not a choice, more like a path worn smooth by too many steps in the same place. I wake up before the alarm, no sound, but something still counts down. This isn't routine, this is someone else's schedule leaking into mine. I'm not repeating anything, I'm being repeated. The same every day. They stop being steps, they become a circle, and circles don't ask where they're going. This isn't routine, this is someone else's schedule leaking into mine. I'm not repeating anything, I'm being repeated. Maybe I'll do something different tomorrow, or maybe that decision's already been made somewhere. I forgot to look. It came quietly behind the sound of children laughing. Somewhere in the distance, I stayed still, but something shifted inside me. I couldn't name the feeling, not grief, not joy. It pressed against my ribs like breath held too long, a warm ache without history. Maybe it drifted in from a voice I once trusted. Maybe it had always been there, waiting to be noticed. I felt something, and it stayed. It didn't ask for space. It unfolded slowly and didn't leave when I gave it nothing. You used to ask what I meant when I said I'm fine. You would have tried to make sense of this, but today I didn't explain, even to myself. The laughter outside kept spilling into the silence, soft and untouchable, like light through closed eyes. I felt something, and it stayed. It didn't belong to me, but it fit like something I forgot I needed. You aren't here, but you echo in how I pause before answering empty rooms. I felt something, and it stayed. No shape, no sharpness, only a pulse that moved without sign. The laughter faded, shadows stretched along the floor. My hands were warm, they hadn't moved. I thought about crying, then didn't. I thought about calling, then didn't. But for once, I didn't feel like disappearing. I turned the music down, laid back, and breathed with the feeling still there. The pen touched the paper but held its breath. I wasn't waiting for the right word, I was waiting to forget why I needed one. The air didn't move, I might have been breathing but not with intent. I looked down, the page remained untouched, yet full in a way I couldn't argue with. I remembered a boy chasing something he would never catch, plastic red and too fast. Your voice in another room saying something about olives. I never liked them, but I ate them then. Once I watched a vending machine flicker as if it were trying to speak. I listened longer than necessary. You told me I turn everything into a puzzle no one asked to solve. I didn't reply. The room now feels like the inside of a closed eye. I'm still holding the pen. It doesn't shake, it doesn't write, but something in me has already begun. Not a sentence, not a story, not a goodbye. Something else unspoken, but loud in the way silence sometimes is. Not a sentence, not a story, not a goodbye. Something else unspoken, but loud in the way silence sometimes is. I stood where we used to wait. The yellow line faded like we always said it would. People passed through me, their shoes louder than I remember. My hands were cold, not from the wind, but from not being held. I meant to forget this place, but forgetting takes more than silence and trains. You never said goodbye, but I remember how your voice paused right before the weather changed. If you were still here, would you still be late? Would you still forget what you were saying halfway through? I kept all the things you left unsaid. They echo more than your name ever did. Dropped a bag and picked it up like nothing happened. I blinked slower than usual, because crying in public makes people kind for the wrong reasons. You once said days are heavy when nothing changes. Today was heavier, nothing changed, and you weren't here to say it. If you were still here, would you still miss your stop? Would you still laugh at things no one else found funny? I counted the spaces you used to stand in. None of them know what to do with this light. I don't remember the date, just the sound your absence made, like the pause after a sentence that was never for me. There's a poster for a new movie on the same wall you leaned against. When you told me you'd try, you didn't, and I still forgive you. The sun hit the tracks, dust rising in the heat, like a breath no one claimed. A bird flew past without flapping. It looked like letting go. I stayed until the platform forgot I was part of it. Then I left, carrying nothing except what I never said when I still had time. Like a breath no one claimed, a bird flew past without flapping. It looked like letting go. I stayed until the platform, forgot I was part of it. Then I left, carrying nothing except what I never said when I still had time. Nothing else to do. Laundry dried without sunlight. It smelled like time. I ate without hunger, washed the dish as if that was the point. The television was turned off. The silence felt rehearsed. I checked my phone for someone who no longer exists in the place where names appear. The dust only settles when we do. I think I understand now. A pair of socks on the balcony, unclaimed, unmoved. The water boiled and cooled and boiled again. My reflection in the microwave door looks slightly different, but not better. The line from a song returned without melody. Hello darkness, my old friend. I didn't invite it, but it let itself in. Outside, someone's voice talked about lunch. Inside, my spoon clinked against nothing. Some days feel like wallpaper stuck, pattern peeling from one side while the other holds on. I'm not sad today, but I'm not anything else. stretch across pixels, laughing with perfect teeth. Vacations, cocktails, weddings, scroll, click. He got a book deal, she bought a house. They look younger now than we did back then. I check my balance, negative again, again, again. I tried posting once, no one liked it. Maybe they saw me and looked away. I would. They keep shining and I keep watching. They bloom in daylight. I hide behind windows. Their winds feel scripted. My silence feels earned. They keep making things, I keep making excuses. Taking a break, figuring it out. Next year will be better, but nothing ever shifts. I tried posting once, no one liked it. Maybe they saw me and looked away. I would. They keep shining and I keep watching. They bloom in daylight. I hide behind windows. Their winds feel scripted. My silence feels earned. I used to write poems, now I write grocery lists I can't afford. I used to have ideas, now I recycle the same fears in better fonts. I can do it. They keep shining and I keep watching. Their stories loop with filters, mine end before the second act. They forget me, I remember everything. The room stays dark, the screen keeps glowing, the post loads. My name is not there, it never is, it never needs to be, it never needs to be. I will change, I will change, I will change. Oh, she hasn't moved for an hour. Just sits there, facing the wall with her knees pulled up and her fingers pressed into her collarbone, like she's holding something in place that was never part of her body. Oh. The television is off, but her eyes still flicker like they're watching something no one else can see. The air hasn't changed since sunset, and I can feel it sitting on her shoulders, even though wings would fall straight through. I blink once slowly and she doesn't notice. I think about flying but stay where I am. The window is closed and so is she. She breathes like she's apologizing to the silence. Every sound she doesn't make echoes more than my call. There are drawings taped to the wall that she no longer looks at. One of them used to She mouths words without sound, and I think they're questions, but they aren't meant for me. I wish I could answer anyway. The moonlight touches her but doesn't reach. I stay awake because she can't sleep. If I could land in her mind and turn the lights back on, I would. If I could speak anything other than what I am, I'd say you are still seen. You are still here. She lies down without closing her eyes. Her heartbeat is the only proof that something is still running. I blink again, maybe tomorrow. There is a line between us no one can see, but I feel it in the way your voice pauses before saying my name. 10 years passed not as waves, but as stones pressed into the same path we wore into the ground. I remember the shape of your silence better than the words you gave me. We grew beside each other, but not toward each other. You once said closeness is a choice, and I said nothing because I knew I had stopped choosing long before you noticed. You stand where I cannot reach, not for lack of arms, but for absence of permission. The space between us is a monument to everything we never said. There were good days, there were small victories. You cooked on Sundays, and I folded the laundry, and neither of us cried until the movie ended. But the peace we made was not with each other, it was with the boundary we never named. We used to argue about what color the wall should be. Now they are still white, and neither of us cares. You stand where I cannot reach, not because you walked away, but because we never built a bridge, only parallel lines carved into memory. I do not hate you, I do not long for what we were. I only stare at the equation we became and wonder when balance turned into separation. Don't forget us, salad this time, I won't. I set the table with 2 forks, one for you and one for the part of me that still believes you exist. You always said the bread should be warm, so I keep the oven on, even when it doesn't make sense. You ask how my day was, and I tell you the part that didn't happen, because it's easier than admitting I never left the apartment. You laugh in that way that makes me believe in soft furniture and years that stretch gently. There's a warmth in the room that doesn't come from the light, it comes from the way you hum under your breath when you chew, the way you fold the napkin twice, then forget where you placed it. We always ate at 7, you always complimented the rice, I always forgot the salt, you never minded. This routine was our religion, this silence was our song. You cut your hair, do you like it? You nod and sip water from the glass that hasn't moved in days. I smile like I deserve to be seen. Your plate is full, your hands are clean. The food tastes like memory or the absence of hunger. Your voice sounds closer than your chair. I blink and you're touching your lips with one finger, like you're trying to remember how it feels to taste. We always ate at 7, you always liked when the light hit the table. I always closed the blinds too early, you never complained. This rhythm was our language, this stillness our reply. We talk about the future like it's a story, we both know the ending too. You say you want to repaint the kitchen green, I say blue. We agree to disagree, like we always did, like we always do, like we always will. You reach across the table and tuck something behind my ear. It isn't real, but I lean into it anyway. We always ate at 7, you always made the tea, I always forgot to steep it long enough. You never noticed, or maybe you didn't love me anyway. Pass me the pepper, you already have it. Alright, the spoon slips through your fingers and lands on the floor without a sound. You don't pick it up, I don't remind you. The food is cold, the chair across from me is empty. There are no utensils on your plate, there are no crumbs, your glass is dry, the napkin is still folded. I am speaking into the dark, you never said anything back, you never sat down, you were never here. We never ate at 7. your phone, and I was never good at saying things out loud, so this stayed here instead. I saw a red umbrella today and thought about how you hated the rain and always forgot yours. I thought about texting you, I didn't, there's no number anymore. It's quiet in ways that feel aggressive, even the clock hesitates. Now I wonder if you left behind a silence this loud for anyone else. I wanted to tell you that I noticed the way you stirred your drink before every sip, that you always bit your lip when pretending to agree that I still use your password to unlock parts of me. But it's too late and too empty and too pointless and too true. I cleaned my room for no reason and found a note you wrote on a napkin that said, "Remember to breathe." I forgot how I folded it into fourths and put it back where forgetting started. Sometimes I whisper your name into the freezer. The cold feels closest to your voice. I wanted to tell you that the songs you hated are the only ones I play. Now that I wear your least favorite color, that I became all the things you disliked, because they were still parts of you. You don't exist where this message goes. You don't hear this, you don't care, you don't come back, you don't come back, you don't come back. I wanted to tell you